Our next example, we're going to be looking at a different way to organize our work. The process is exactly the same. Everything that we do is exactly the same. We're just going to organize it in a chart instead of term by term. So it gives you a different way of looking at it, a different way of organizing your work, and you may like this better. Whichever method you choose is fine. I am never going to tell you you have to use one method or the other. I'm showing them both to you so that if one method is kind of confusing, the other method hopefully will make sense. So this one is just called the chart method. So what we do is set up a table with 3 rows. It will always have 3 rows. The first row will be for the coefficients from Pascal's triangle. The next row will hold our first term and its expansion. And the last row will hold our second term and its expansion. The number of columns will need to be 1 more than the exponent. So our exponent is 3, so we need 4 columns. So 3 rows and 4 columns. As I mentioned, our first row is going to hold those coefficients from Pascal's triangle. Now, I don't expect you to have Pascal's triangle memorized already, but it is fairly easy to generate. So you start with a 1, row 1 has 1, 1, row 2, 1, 2, 1. Remember adding the terms from the previous row. And then our third row is 1, 3, 3, 1. So those coefficients go in my first row. My second row will hold the first term, starting with the highest power, decreasing. So we've got 3x cubed, 3x squared, 3x, and then 3x to the 0 power. There won't be anything in that last box. Our third row will have that second term with the highest power on the end, decreasing backwards. So I'm actually starting at the back of the chart this time with my -2 to the third power, -2 squared, -2 to the first power, and then there's nothing in that first box. So here's how we simplify this. We're going to be multiplying vertically. Multiply all of the terms in each column, and then simplify as we multiply, and it will be in standard form. So our first column has 1 times 3x quantity cubed, so make sure you cube that 3 as well. 3 cubed is 27. Multiply all the terms in the second column. I'm going to start with the middle because that's got my power, so 3 squared is 9, times 3 is 27, times -2 is -54, x squared. Third column, I'm going to start at the bottom. My -2 squared is 4, times 3 is 12, times 3 is 36, and it's positive because that negative canceled with the power. And my last column, -2 cubed is -8 times 1. So that's my final answer. And here's your 2 U-try problems.